All right, part 106. Jesus, we just narrowly avoided disaster. I was actually recording this episode, got really far into the next instance, and then realized I didn't have the footage rolling. If I'd finished the mission, we would have lost that forever. I would have had to beat in the entire game again just to get to this point to show you it. It's a constant fear of mine as I play. So anyway, hello everybody. A new festival has just born interior. Once again, this time it's the Canthan New Year. We're dealing with the New Year of the Boar. That's going on back in Divinity's Reach, where we can only hope people are happy and enjoying themselves. Meanwhile, Carrotflower here, dealing with some pretty horrible news, honestly. Two big blows occurred last episode. Number one, our dear friend and longtime colleague in the Priory was killed. That was Kecht. Kecht went down, was slain by a risen Norn who hunted him very efficiently. But not only that, we also have a very scary bit of news that Zaitan has collected a Searing cauldron. So we know about one of those is sort of idle in the Fields of Ruin. Sorry, actually the Iron Marches, isn't it? It's up here. Well, Zaitan seems to have found another one. Where he got it, where his corpses have retrieved it from, we have no idea. But those things are very, very dangerous and could spell disaster. You could just nuke Fort Trinity right here, and that would be it. It's over. So we rushed back to Fort Trinity here. We told Traherne, and we've got a special plan to jump in via airship and drop down using some of the pack's most ridiculous technology to grab this thing early. Let's actually read in our story journal how it describes things, which is a little bit different, honestly. Check it out. Hunters and Prey. The story journal says, I went looking for a missing pack squad and found Fergan, one of the pack's premier scouts, or the pack's premier scout, now corrupted and hunting his fellow squad mates in a lethal game of cat and mouse. We defeated him, but not without serious casualties. I also learned that Fergan's squad had located a powerful weapon that the pack could employ against Zaitan's army, a Searing cauldron, much like the one that destroyed Ascon centuries ago. We set out to collect that weapon. So in the story journal, they kind of have a different twist that it's like, oh, we could use it against Zaitan, but I think the intent's a much more scary notion that he's going to use it against us is the thing, the ball we should really be running with, and that's what most of the NPCs have said. So yeah, let's head on into airdrop. Once again, ride the airship way out into Malkor's Leap and over the Cathedral of Zephyrs here too. Once again being a thorn in the side for the Pact. Truly a horrendous, abominable sight filled with all kinds of mysteries, I guess. As we come out onto the deck here, you'll notice... Ooh, we have our battle suits. Before getting in it, we can just sort of move along there and find the captain of the ship. This is Arda Jaya Shriek, who would tell us all about where we are and what's going on. And check it out, looking down. This is so beautiful, honestly. You'd expect when we're so high in the sky that looking at the map, you'd like see the boundaries of the map, like where it connects to the Cursed Shore or the Straits of Devastation or something. It would look a bit ugly. But it's a real testament to how well built the world is that's not true at all. Look at it. I mean... That's the cathedral over there of Eternal Radiance. We can see in the distance just this mammoth structure poking up even to the clouds to some extent. And everything just feels like it works, you know. We're just really, really high up. Very scary. There's no real content on the airship itself aside from wandering around looking. It would be kind of difficult for the devs to do content on these things. I guess as long as there's no dragons in the sky to threaten us. It does look very beautiful. But Christ, a dragon while we're on an airship? Let's hope we never have to deal with that as a problem. Hey, Arda, what's going on? Welcome aboard, Commander. I'm your pilot, Arda Jaya Shriek. I'll get you to the site and serve as your air support once you hit the ground. Better suit up now. We don't have much time. Okay, wait, but I've got a few questions about the mission. All right, I'm here to support you, Commander. Ask away. Right, what's our objective? And by the way, we've never met this child before. She looks extremely grumpy and just pissed off about being here. Oh, she has heterochromia? Is that what it is again? My God, there's so many characters in video games that have this. She's got one blue eye and one green eye, just like Yuna. We're locating the Searing cauldron in the Cathedral of Zephyrs, and we're clearing out the Risen. So we are like the elite squad that's going to try and claim this thing. The battle suit behind you will provide you with all the firepower and protection you'll need. All right, how are we collecting it, though? These things are big, aren't they? They're heavy. Well, the Ranthro of the Wild has a team standing by. Once you clear the zone, they'll move in, secure it for transport, and they'll take it away. Right. I got another question. That is a hell of a suit back there. Tell me about it. I could talk for hours about that suit. The controls should be familiar, but the weaponry, all cutting-edge stuff. It'll make more sense once you're actually inside. Okay, I got another question. And so, yeah, Carrotflower's never actually been in a golem, as far as I remember. So, unlike many Asura, she doesn't have the luxury of it feeling that familiar, but I'm sure she'll fumble her way around. We can also ask, hey, just what's your story, soldier? Not much to tell. I was a chopper pilot running supplies and air support for the Iron Legion near Black Blade Lake. That's actually near the Brand, I think, in one of the northern char maps. I heard the pack needed pilots and, well, I've always wanted to slay a dragon. Okay. What I would have loved, for what it's worth, guys, is if this char pilot had been that same char we saw in the dynamic event way back when, where the char were first tinkering with helicopters and choppers and stuff and flying. Do you remember that event that I deliberately went out of my way to show you as the char start building the technology? It'd be so cool if it was her again. And they do sometimes do that. NPCs from the open world do appear in story every now and then. Fergan, from last episode, is actually an example of that. But yeah, she's not. This is a totally new character. Anyway, I heard the pack needed pilots, and, well, I've always wanted to slay a dragon. Being a pilot is such a scary notion, right? I feel like you deal with some of the worst stuff as a pilot. Actually, I don't know. Probably the best gig is being, like, on the ships, maybe. But then you have Risen coming out of the water. Up here, you've got dragons to fight. Down on the ground, you've got trench foot and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, what do you know about Loranthir? So this is the second time we get to ask about Loranthir. We haven't even met him yet. He's a Vigil big shot. Most Sylvari I've met treat war like a learning experience, but he understands a cause worth fighting for is also worth killing for and dying for. So everyone speaks very highly of Loranthir. I love him. He's such a cool character. Another big shot, though. Does that mean that he's next on the chopping block? I really hope not. Though, mind you, he's a Sylvari, so Zaitan at least can't corrupt him. Glad to have him backing us up. I'll suit up now. Right. So, into the golem we get, and it's pretty goddamn exciting, if I do say so myself. Look at how big this thing is. So, players of World vs. World can actually get into golems like this and use them to siege places in that format of the game. This is where you kind of first get to ride one in a big way in the story. So, you notice we get 4 skills. A punch, a turbo laser, a teleporter relay device, and a lightning field generator. What they specifically do, I'll talk about when we actually get down on the ground. But the main thing, as Caraflower like fumbles around and gets used to it, look how big and scary and menacing this thing is. The main thing I do want to point out, though, is we do still get our utility skills, which are obviously based on our class. So depending on what profession you are when you do this mission, actually changes quite a lot of how it feels, because you get different utilities to complement yourself. So you'll notice for this episode, I have remained us as a minion monster, which means that we get allies to assist us, even though we're getting airdropped in alone. And, you know, the mission isn't necessarily designed to have allies. So this will be good. They'll take a bit of pressure off of us, allowing us to do our golem stuff. And if you're other classes, you can get other special interactions, one of which I really want to talk to you guys about when we actually get down there. But yeah, so just kind of fumbling around. Caraflower, getting used to it. There you go. And we'll speak to Arda now. This side-by-side cutscene has got to be one of the funniest ones in the game. I need to do like a bottom 10 list for side-by-side cutscenes that just look awful in Guild Wars 2. And I think this might end up at the top of the list. I'm not sure. Either that or the Quaggan or something. So check this out, guys. Ready?
What?
Oh, God. I'm laughing before I even see it.
Oh, I'm jealous, Commander. You get to pilot the meanest battlesuit ever built right into Zaitan's backyard.
You should be. I've heard great things about it. Can't wait to put it to the test.
You're outfitted with the finest weaponry in the Pact. Energy beams and ballistics. Offense and defense, all cased in Deldrimor steel. There's even a teleporter adapted from advanced Inquest gear. You're a walking murder machine. I'll be up here watching you at every step. Mark your targets with smoke grenades, and I'll make it rain fiery death. Here comes the drop zone. After you land, I'll feed you updates through the communications relay golem. Good luck, and give Zaitan my regards.
And in we drop. So, yeah, ridiculous side-by-side. I love how they say the teleporter is Inquest stuff, for what it's worth.
Come here!
Because, like, that's... Kudu had, like, a personal teleporter. At this point in the timeline, we've just defeated Kudu, right?
Commander. Standing by, high in the sky.
And I like the idea that somehow that's fed into what we're doing now. So, yeah, here we go. We get the golem. Now, punching, you'll see I'm doing obscene damage. And also, our Blood Fiend is sucking health, so we get to regenerate. You'll notice Caraflower's health has gone to the highest level of health we've seen on the series so far. We're at 46,000 HP right now. Truly ridiculous, okay? So, yeah, we got to clear the landing zone, and we just drop straight on into the cathedral. There's no statue here. The Malcor event and stuff is done, I suppose. But we're going to amble around. And I just want to demonstrate that everything that we do in this, even the auto attack, is super, super deadly. There's this communications relay device here that will speak to us from the airship in the sky as we go forwards. In fact, if we look up, can we see the airship? Not quite. It is up there somewhere, though. All right, so we're going to contact Arda and using the relay golem.
The area is secure. I'm signaling the Pact forces to begin their offensive. Multiple hostiles converging on you. Dig in. This could get ugly.
All right, okay, so there's hostiles coming from over there. I'm going to use the turbo laser. Annihilate all foes in your path with a devastating laser beam. You've never seen so much damage. So we just charge the beam and charge the beam and charge the beam and annihilate everything.
Multiple hostiles from the south.
So here's what's funny. The way that the devs made this is that most of the time they will run in on a single line on you. So if you cast the beam in the right place, you can wipe an entire wave out before you're in any particular danger. But you've got to cast the beam right. It's a very slow, long, clunky ability. There's a global cooldown on your skill bar after you use it as we recharge the golem. So be very precise with it. Like, I would never cast it now.
Pact forces have engaged the enemy.
Just to kill one acolyte.
Multiple hostiles from the south.
And so, as you see, we're going to clear them out quickly, all right? So that's the laser beam. Next, well, we'll beam again here because that's the good choice. Next, I'll show you the lightning field generator. Channel a field of localized lightning around your suit. So for the ones that sneak past the beam, like these, we can cast our skill 4. And we clunk down. And we create just ridiculous electricity that fries and sizzles everything in an AoE around us.
Enemy approaching from the east.
So, and it's so loud and badass here. Back to the east. Okay, they're here. So we can trigger these. And our minions taking a bit of aggro definitely makes this quite nice. So, just as a little bit of trivia, if we were Mesmer right now, Mesmer's on their utility skills, and they get traits as well, by the way. Our traits are actually still working.
From the south.
Mesmer's on their utility skills can create clones of themselves. Now, what's really funny about this mission is if you use those specific utility skills to make a clone of yourself while you're this golem, all your clones will be the battle suit, and it's kind of bugged and broken in that the battle suit clones will use the mega beams, the turbo lasers and stuff, and you'll just annihilate everything.
Multiple abominations converging on your position. Advise caution.
Because you can essentially have 4 of these at once. All right, so we've got a wave of A-bombs. This one's going to be pretty dangerous. So when they get close, as they charge here, you'll see I'm going to use my skill 3.
Pact forces are making steady enemy inbound from the west. Closing fast on your position.
Oh, God, coming from the west. Okay, so over here. So, yeah, the teleporter, we can blink over, and we'll be pretty good. And as long as we keep away, that can set us up for another beam. Oh, this feels good. I'll also note, weird bit of trivia as well, every kill we score here counts as a hammer kill.
From the east.
So if you're looking to farm hammer kills for your Weapon Slayer achievement, this is a good place to do it if you don't actually like hammer itself, because you killed so many Risen here.
They're halfway to your position.
So what you can do is, you know, cleave a ton of them out like this, and then right before the mission's going to end, cancel, go back to Fort Trinity and do it all again.
Enemy approaching from the east.
And just farm a ton of hammer stuff there if you like. It'd be probably better to fight all these spiders at the lighthouse, though. Or the rats in Lion's Arch, just with an actual hammer. But this is a cool way to get that up a little bit more as well. So yeah, it's just our job here to defend the cauldron, which is just out on the plaza right now.
Multiple hostiles from the south.
So why is the cauldron here when last time we were here it wasn't? I like to think that there's a part of the story we're missing where a Pact Priory squad like went into the inside of this cathedral, the interior or something, and they went on some massive expedition to get it out. But right as they got it outside, they were ambushed by Risen and just destroyed. And so, like, they fell.
We have a problem, Commander. Some heavy hitters are moving in.
And so now we have to come recover it. Look at the shadows, guys. All right, so heavy hitters, Risen Knights. This is like the tier up from A-Bomb as far as I'm concerned. These guys will evade, and they'll actually hit pretty hard, so I'm going to just sort of back up from them a bit. Look at their shadows in the wall. Look at this. Oh, ArenaNet need to do so much more with shadows. It's so cool.
Multiple hostiles from the south.
All right. Wait, from the south again? So that's here. This time we get a wave of jesters.
Pact forces are advancing.
This is all the top tier, you know, Risen enemies that we'll find here. Jesters are pretty dangerous in general, but they can't break through 45,000 health. As long as you're getting the beams correctly, they won't pile up.
Inbound from the west. Closing fast on your position.
Okay, west. All right, is here. Get another wave down. So I could, like, run the Signet of Power and stuff right now to buff our laser beam's damage. You know, you can do whatever you want with the utilities, but I think minions are a good choice.
Enemy inbound from the west. Closing fast on your position.
Especially if we were blood magic, we'd get even more sort of resustain from it.
Pack forces are almost to you. Not much longer.
Okay, good, because we've destroyed a lot of waves here.
Enemy approaching from the east.
From the east, okay. Well, this one's pretty spread out. I still think we'll be okay, though. And there it is. So, Lorantha just got it. Check it out. The pack's in.
Orient Giant closing fast. Stand ready.
Oh, God. A giant? Really? I'm not sure I like the sound of that. So, look at all the allies. Oh, God. It's here right now. Okay, so I guess we'll take it out. I thought that would be the next phase. I suppose we beat that so quick, actually, that we didn't have... Maybe there's lots of giants the longer this goes on. But anyway, so let's clear this out. Now, the allies we get with us, just to be clear, are actually pretty heavy hitters. They do a lot of damage. They, like, do good skill. It's like in most other instances in the game, the devs nerfed how strong your allies were. But here in Ore, they're okay to let some of them be stronger and feel really valuable. So this is good. They're kind of like we get our minions now, right? So we held out alone. Take this, like, idea of, you know, a battle suit versus a giant at the end. Like a kaiju versus Jaeger kind of thing. I really enjoy. But so down he goes, and yes, Lorantha, we meet at last. What happens if I just speak to the golem? Oh, it doesn't actually have any dialogue for us.
Impressive, Commander. I'd hoped you would leave us some, but this works too.
As long as we have the cauldron, you've done your share. Is it secure?
Secure and ready to be deployed. Our offensive is stalled at the Cathedral of Verdance. I hope we can punch through the resistance.
I was concerned at first too. Don't be. Marshal Traherne convinced me the risk was acceptable.
You're right, of course. Our sorcerers have more control than the Flame Legion shamans did centuries ago. Any damage we do to Ore, we also do to Zaitan. I'll have the cauldron loaded onto your ship. You made this possible. You should have the honor of setting it off. Meet us at the target when you're ready.
Commander, I have a visual on a packed tank column pinned down near your position. They're about to be overwhelmed. If they don't get help fast, they're dead.
Save that column, Commander. My squad will prepare the cauldron for extraction. Consider me an ally.
Consider me an ally, he says. So look how cool this is. This is a weird mission in that it feels like it was supposed to end there. But then the dev's like, no, the battlesuit's so fun. We want to do a little bit more. And you come to deal with these tanks here. So when I very first played this, like I said, it was the first mission I did. The impression I got was that because I never picked to do the tanks earlier, that now I had to save them here. But nowadays, you know, having seen everything, you kind of realize this is just a different tank column that are following up after the other ones that were sent through before. But it is interesting. If you remember when we were doing that visual storyline with the tanks, we got to find a way to climb down. Okay, here's the stairs over here. If you remember when we were doing that storyline, we do actually take the tanks through right here in front of the cathedral, about right now in the timeline. So it is fun to think that maybe because you didn't choose one, they need your help now, right? And you use this golem instead. But yeah, so we are definitely planning on using this cauldron. We've just claimed it, and we're going to use it to hit Ore. How badass is that? Okay, did I justify it now, what I said the other episode, that this is definitely, in terms of the story, the coolest of the three options? It starts so subtle. It's just like, oh, there's a missing squad. But by the end, we've just got ourselves a Searing cauldron that we're going to try and use against Ore. It's such an epic thought to me, because, like, when you think of giant magic epic events within this world, in this game, in this franchise, really the first one was the Searing in Ascalon, right? That's the big daddy, the original. We heard about the Cataclysm of War and stuff, but you don't get to see it firsthand. We see the fallout of the Searing. Any Guild Wars 1 player at this point here in the story knows just how deadly these cauldrons are, and the idea that you're going to, like, overlap the two stories, two beautiful, awesome stories, the Cataclysm, the Sinking, the Rising of all the Elder Dragons, you're going to overlap that with the Searing cauldrons? Oh, it's so badass. It's like the coolest things that devs could have imagined doing as like a climax for an Orient storyline, and I love it. I truly adore it. So check it out. Here's the packed tanks. We do have another putrefier to kill here, so I'm going to teleport on top of him, which does do damage and blind. It's a bit like the Guardian Sword 2 there, actually, a little bit, but slightly different. So yeah, we move in and check it out. Here we got Magister Kuth. And a lot of fire. How are you guys doing? What's going on?
Commander, we were overrun. More of my troops are trapped, but I can't get to them. There's an Orion army between us and them, and our cannons are inoperative. But you could cut through the enemy with your suit and bring that tank crew back alive.
The tanks are so loud. I love them. All right, dude. So we got to get through to reach the stranded tank crew. This is a horde of Orion stuff. Look, there's gorillas here. There's all kinds. So here, let's just aggro as many as we can and lightning field. Perfect. And now I'm going to aim over there, and I'm going to use my super beam. Oh no, I just cancelled. Okay, so we actually got weakness cast on us this time. Weakness is pretty bad because it causes us to do glancing blows instead of crits, and that means that they don't die anywhere near as fast. But yeah, we'll just keep wading our way through. Let's use the beam over there. Got these destroyed tanks and allied bodies. Yeah, good, good, good. You'll see that the lightning field generator, as strong as it is, it does actually have a pretty intense cooldown on it. So I'm just going to pull back, right? Which means that when they run into me to chase me again, they'll form a line, and then we can laser beam. Look at that. Classic technique right there. Beautiful. And we can just absolutely cleave them all down. So yeah, this is like an extra bit of the mission almost. We could have just grabbed the cauldron and been like, all right, we're out. But then we hear about the tanks and we just get to do a little bit more with the ridiculous battle suit. Sadly, you don't really see it in the later story steps, even though it doesn't technically get broken here. But moving back towards Ren. Can we see the airship in the sky now? Yeah, we can. No, it's up there. There's the airship. Oh, it looks so big up there. That's awesome. All right, let's teleport over again. These guys are doing pretty good, actually. Look, they're just sniping them down straight away. All right, guys. Look, you got tanks and you got me now.
Thank the gods you're here. We need you to lead us out of here, now.
All right, escort the crew back to the tank. Oh, God, there's a couple more coming here. Jesters. It's a good thing we cleared everything out of that field. If you try and skip around the side, then you might have a job on the way back here. Look at them moving in. They're so good. And yeah, like, not only do they mix these two intensely magic badass stories, but it's also with tanks and rifles and, oh, man.
Nice work, Commander, and nice suit. Let's regroup with the War Master and tell him how many lives you just saved.
A lot, I think. All right, cool. So we actually get a better back piece now, which Caraflower definitely wants. Question is, do we want to go Condi? Do we want to go flat damage? Or do we want to go healing? These are the three, you know, this is like the three big builds that I've shown you, the three divergent routes to go in. There is kind of a fourth, which is the idea of being very tanky, but that's got less use during this kind of storyline. So, we've just done a lot of condition damage. Let's look at some power stuff, so I'm going to pick that up there. Nice. Okay, Keith. And everyone, that's it. That's that mission done. That's airdrop, leading us into the final instance now. Blast from the Past. Cool name, and obviously, right, it's called that because there is a sense of nostalgia interplaying with this mission here and this storyline. I'll actually be seeing you guys at Gravbjorn's, which is the closest worthwhile camp to where we're going to trigger this cauldron. So we are at Chaos Shadowfane en route. I thought you guys might find it interesting to hear what these guys have to say. Some of the Sylvari that have made it this far into the Cursed Shore.
Did you ever fight beside Kate in the Wild Hunt?
I never had the pleasure of seeing her in action. You?
Once. We tracked a dozen dragon minions into a swamp. We split up to cover more ground. I found and killed 2 beasts. She returned covered in ooze and gore after dispatching the rest.
So she got 10 kills. I just like that little reference to Kate there that this explorer had known about. A bit of a weird lore discrepancy there. You'll notice that out loud, what the voice actress said was they talked about the Wild Hunt. The Wild Hunt, as though it's a singular thing. I guess when they recorded those lines that they didn't quite understand what that was, because obviously there is no individual Wild Hunt. It's like a personal quest, a journey for each individual Sylvari. And so that's what's said out loud. But if you actually look at the speech bubbles, if you rewind slightly at how it's described, they don't say the Wild Hunt. They just kind of keep it a little bit general. Which I find kind of funny. Somebody clearly noticed that was that discrepancy at some point while making the game, but it wasn't properly and fully fixed. Anyway, so yeah, this is really all that Caraflower is going to do. She's just going to meet some of the Sylvari here and move on from Chaos Shadowfane quite quickly to Gravbjorn's.
You there! The Pact could use your help.
I know the pact could use my help. Everyone can use my help. It's a difficult time in the pact, okay? But we've got a pretty serious situation here. We're going to try and use a Searing cauldron. So, these southern plains here, okay? I like to imagine, you know, these large open fields as we move down to the only known entrance to Ara, right? I like to think that they're so vast and huge that basically we need some ridiculous stuff to break through them. In one region, we use a ton of tanks to get through, and we've seen that story. In another region, closer to the shore, we use our boats to lay siege and blow people up there with our signal flares and whatnot. And finally, perhaps the bulk of it, we're going to use a Searing cauldron to bust our way in and get more to the south. So, here we are, Laranthir, everybody, and there you might have just seen some familiar faces.
The cauldron is on the way, Commander. That pilot of yours really knows her stuff. I'm confident she'll deliver. Our job is to clear the landing zone. You remember Baron and Pharaoh? The Priory sent them to prep the cauldron once it's in position. Enemy resistance hinges on our two main objectives, the Cathedral and Prince Nekandeza, leader of the Risen forces there. There's something special about that one. He's been destroyed multiple times, but keeps coming back stronger than ever.
Not this time, Gov. Pharaoh and I are ready to roll. Let's see old Neki shrug off a point-blank Searing cauldron to the face.
What a name. So it's Baron and Pharaoh, two of the potential candidates to have helped us during the Claw Island Act, working together with Dredge technology and, you know, an unlikely combo, Asura and Char working together, their various forms of engineering and technological expertise combined.
If things go pear-shaped and we all get killed, I'm blaming you, Baron.
These aren't dead yet. Not all the way. Draw your weapons.
But more old names and old faces and characters that we know. Oh god, just which ones are actually going to survive? Your heart ends up in your throat, right, after losing Kekt. So, we got just hordes of creatures to kill. And, well, I'm playing a blood minion mancer here. And we should just be able to kind of pressure through, keeping our horde empowered, and also our allies around us with stuff like vampiric aura, right? Which means everybody's life leeching. So that's good. I actually wonder what the game prioritizes right now for this. My minions or the NPCs? I guess my minions. You can see that they've got the buff.
Many have lost their lives here. This cathedral is more of an abattoir. Be on your guard. They're coming in from the water. Cut them down!
Oh god, more of in the water. Oh, it's almost like we're fighting the deep sea dragon with the amount of minions that could just kind of amble out there. At least, hey, if this battle was against Primordus or something, we wouldn't have to worry about war. We'd be pretty sure that there aren't going to be waterborne destroyers coming out. God, I'll hold my tongue on that, though. Look, seeing what Kudu was doing in this Crucible of Eternity, it seems you can blend minions in any kind of ways, right? And there's a huge field with bone walls. There's a chopper nearby.
Patrols everywhere. We'll have to clear the entire area out before we can proceed. We'll deploy the cauldron up ahead. Take the lead, Commander.
But, yeah, we just get a massive medley and we got to clear everything out. See, now, I wonder whether original, design for this mission was going to have the player able to use the golem battlesuit again. Which is why it's like a mission where you're kind of killing a giant field of stuff. Usually if you have to take out a whole field of enemies, there's something else going on, like the signal flares or whatever. They're kind of scared to just have you kill, assuming you've done a lot of that while leveling up or whatever. So I think probably the early version was that we were going to use that battlesuit again. They don't give any explanation as to why we don't anymore. But then I think they might have gone back on that idea, and this is all just my speculation, because essentially it steals all of our profession skills and stuff, right? And instead, we're just able to use the golem ones, and they might have thought that they had too much content in the golem, so then they changed their mind later. Maybe they had testing feedback where people said, oh, I'd rather be on my regular skills again now, so they removed it. And it kind of leaves that weird wrinkle in the story as to, why aren't we using the battlesuit right now? What would have been really cool is if one of our allies was in the battlesuit. You know, put Laranthir in it. They've been trying to set him up as a badass, right? And I think well delivering on that. If he was piloting it here, that would be brilliant. But yeah, so Baron and Pharaoh are at least helping us out. I certainly think the more Char and humans we can get on this story step, the better. So let's cleave these down. And we did pretty good there. That was pretty quick, honestly, guys.
We need to shut down those bone tendrils before our airship can deliver the payload. Keep moving. Don't make yourself an easy target.
Look at it. It doesn't. I swear it's deliberately meant to feel like we're underwater here at the end of the game, isn't it? It's so creepy. But that's just like the magic and the energy of getting closer and closer to an Elder Dragon. So I've actually talked about several events to do with anti-air and stuff. Well, here we kind of get another one. This isn't actually Orion anti-air structures that you can see elsewhere in the game. Instead, they're just giant bone tendrils. I don't know why the devs didn't reuse actual anti-air, models that they'd set up before, but hey, whatever. So yeah, our goal is just to cleave them down. They're being defended again by even more elite risen knights here. Now that they've started creeping into the story, they get into it a lot, don't they? I'm just going to try and spend as much life force as possible here, landing autos where I can, because that stacks might on us, right? So we got up to 18 might already. And then when we run out, we'll come back. Here, I want to make sure everything's dead before we take that last tower out. So let's go for that. In fact, our minions are on it, so we have to be careful and cleave these out fast. They evade a lot as well, so let's keep fears on him so he can't evade. Okay, that's good. And, all right, next night. What's this down here? Skeletal hands in the ground. There's been loads of stuff like risen hands in the ground and stuff. Even since back in Mount Maelstrom, we've been seeing those. But that's called skeletal hands. It actually looks the same, but I like the idea it's a different variety. You know, every type of enemy should be tearing up at this point at the end of the game. And so skeletal hands is the new version of these. I don't actually know how much damage they do. They die too quick, but hey. We just need to regroup with Lorantha now. I think it's fine. He just needed to get out of combat.
That's the last one. I'll mark the drop zone with smoke.
Okay. Oh, look, there's another skeletal hand here. All right, so we're going to use the cauldron to break through this bone wall. Here we go. First, the airship needs to drop it. Look, look, look. Airship's actually flying. I love this so much when you get to see them moving. So in it flies. And what's it going to do? Star Trek style transport?
There, near the steps. Another tendril. Jaya Shriek, pull up now.
Oh, God, more AA. Careful, Arda. Careful. Oh, my God, it got totally nuked. Oh, we didn't do our job well enough.
The airship is down, but we can still complete our mission. Hurry.
The cauldron's intact. Back me up, Pharaoh. This is going to be more complexicated than we thought.
Don't wait for me, boyo. You carry your load, I'll motivate mine.
Hurry. Nekandeza will reserve his main force in case this is a feint, but he may try to flank us. They're coming in from the south.
These guys with their weird, peculiar language. Oh my God, so much has happened here. Okay, so we need to defend the cauldron while it's being ready. Check it out. And once again, it's a chart actually creating the cauldron. I like that suggestion before that we're a bit smarter now. We have more control than they did, 250 years ago, and we understand it better because, the Priory's just like bosses. But look at this. Just picture this written on paper. A char.
Hostiles incoming, north side.
A char that we have to defend, trying to trigger another cauldron in the heart of Ur against an Elder Dragon. It's so badass. We also hear that these forces we're specifically fighting against are actually belonging to another risen prince. This is Nekandeza, just like we fought another prince before, Al-Hazred.
Enemies inbound.
Oh, God. Did he just say eyes? Oh, no. He said eyes west. All right, good. It's not multiple eyes of Zaitan. That would have been kind of nasty. And yeah, over there in the distance, there is the crashed airship. It actually crashes so far away you can't get to it in the instant. So the fate of Arda and what happened there, we just don't know. We're just forced to deal with this task at hand. It's very similar to what Bract had to deal with on the boats, actually, where there's kind of chaos far away and chaos here. But there is no choice for Caraflower here. She can't just lead a party to go off and try and...
Down the stairs, straight at us!
To try and see what's happening. We're in the heart of it right now, and we have to make sure this cauldron goes off. So coming down the stairs at the Cathedral of Verdance, for what it's worth. Let's clash this stuff down. And make sure that bar charges. We're about 65% done now. Getting closer.
They're coming back! Watch the stairs!
They're coming back? What stairs? They just keep rolling. I love how they can just slink through the bone wall and we can't. That's actually kind of an important thing for the devs to be able to set up. Like, terrain that enemies can go through, but players can't.
Coming down the stairs! Straight at us!
Yeah, okay. Oh my God, and they're sending A-bombs now. Do not let that rush the cauldron, please. Do not let it. You guys might find as well, by the way, if we were on a class like Guardian, where we could use our elites to spread quickness around, you could probably give quickness to the cauldron and make this spell go faster. That was a thing in the core game. Not so true in the game these days. The devs tend to cull that stuff away.
What's the holdup, Baron? We can't wait forever.
But unfortunately, Caraflower doesn't have too much of that opportunity. Look, Baron, it's almost done. Are you ready? Oh, God, they're getting bigger. This is a big A-bomb. Please don't build too much frenzy. There we go. Yeah! Oh, look at how cool this is! Look, it's like almost Kraukatoric-y looking magic. Are we putting 2 Elder Dragons together right now? Oh! And we actually sear the goddamn place. Oh, how fantastic is that?
Well, braid my ears. Those ancient Flame Legion poobahs may have been evil, oppressive oiks. They knew how to enchant a weapon.
Too right. That's a proper bonfire, that is. Now we just need to sweep up the ashes and detectify that pilot lass of yours.
Not yet. I'm sorry, but this mission isn't over yet. Arda will have to wait until we verify that Nekandeza is truly dead.
You what? Old Neki is a pile of greasy grit right now. Believe you me, nothing could have lived through that. Nothing!
If it were anyone else, I'd agree. But Nekandeza has walked away from certain death before. This time, we have to make sure.
Then let's get moving. The longer we take, the worse Arda's chances get. Put a guard on the cauldron and follow me.
Oh, look, they got history with this prince. And look at the lighting in this area now. Oh my god, this is so cinematic. It's the best. Like, when I think of epic moments in awe, this is it right here, guys. So, hold on. Do we get any dialogue with anyone? I want to learn a little bit more about this Prince Nekandeza. So, confirm the risen Prince Nekandeza's death. And as we walk through, just look at all the risen bodies here. Look at how they've just been slaughtered. Yeah! The pack can bite back, bitches!
Watch your step. Some of these corpses still have life left in them. And fire. Look, that lower area looks like it escaped the blast. Nekandeza could be down there.
Did you see that thing just whining for home? Crying for home? That's so crazy.
Such destruction.
Return!
Even in ancient times, the Char were a foe to be feared.
Look at this. Do you think that the Char would have cast their Searing Cauldrons on Ore had they conquered it? I never really considered that fact, but it's interesting to think the bodies of the people we're fighting right now would have been Orions who were kind of like reliving that threat, if that is what the plan was way back when. Who knows what the Flame Legion was going for. So we kind of got to get to the lower area. And look, these guys are just permanently burning now. There's an A-bomb here that survived, and so they're burning but not actually taking damage. It's just like a visual effect. Something I really like, though. So yeah, well, I like the idea as well. You can see how sort of nonsensical the area is. I like to think that it's the cauldron that did this, that just like blasted this crater into this area now, and that's why it seems to just like make so little sense. But as we creep along, look at this underneath. And yeah, you could maybe survive down here. Hold on, this A-bomb's still alive. There is something standing and watching. Oh. It's the big man. And there's 4 of them?
So, my hunters are finally revealed. You staged quite the fiery spectacle. Using the cauldron against us was a bold move, but it won't save you. You are worthy foes, but in the end, all will be food for the dragon. I am Prince Nekandezar, wielder of the Crimson Blade, the Grand Deceiver.
His personal guard.
I love how quickly Lorantha is just like analyzing the situation, ignoring the incoherent babble that Zaitan throws out. So yeah, and he was also up here in an advantageous place to use his bow. So he's actually a mesmer.
I will triumph, for I am
Nekandeza himself is sustaining.
down, and I shall
Just have to identify the original.
So he's a mesmer, and we got to figure out who's the real one. So infiltration, able to shadow step to his original location. That's actually a thief skill, a sword 2 skill. So yeah, we got to figure out which one's the real one. My minions are just gonna kind of go in ham. You'll notice we are doing damage. His real health bar is here, and here's a little tip, right? If you click on the health bar up here, it will automatically target the real one for you. So yeah, a little bit of a cheeky cheat there that you can go for in this mission. But let's cleave him down.
Look. Finally, Nekandeza is gone and the cathedral is ours. A great victory. We've crippled the risen war machine. For the first time, Zaitan's army is fully on the defensive. Excellent work, Commander.
And you, War Master. But I'm not celebrating until we find our pilot.
Of course. We'll cover more ground if we split up. My squads and I will help you comb this entire battlefield. Don't lose hope. I haven't known Jayashrik long, but she seems tough. If anyone could have survived that wreck, it's her.
So, if there's gonna be a casualty here, it wasn't Lorantha, it wasn't Baron, it wasn't Pharaoh, so thank Christ it wasn't anything too bad. Now, there is a subtle hint of a tunnel down there, But I'm sure that's not important. We'll ignore that for now. Let's come... Oh, wait. Can we speak to Ranthir? I guess not here at the end. Let's go see what happened to our pilot in the crashed airship. Now, Nekandeza there, or Nekendazar, whichever pronunciation you want to go with, the game uses both, is probably referencing one of the real-world kings of Babylon. Bit of trivia for you all here. So one of the 4 kings of Babylon, one of them was a guy called I'm going to butcher this pronunciation here. Nebuchadnezzar the 4th. Okay, anyway, this was one of the last kings of Babylon. It's similar to how Nekendazar could be perhaps the last prince of Ur. Both the construction of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon and the destruction of Jerusalem's temples are ascribed to him. And apparently he's featured in the Book of Daniel and is mentioned in several other books of the Bible. So maybe they're referencing that character. That's trivia pulled straight from Wiki for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Look at that giant statue of the gods up there. So cool. So yeah, as we wade on through, we got to head north now to where the airship crashed. The actual area of the world we're at, Winternail Isle, is really awesome, and the name of the waypoint here is really interesting as well. It's a labyrinth. So actually, out here in the Cursed Shore, we'll do this with Caraflower now. There is a proper maze you can go through, and if you find the correct route through it, what you'll do is get a hero point. There's also a POI in there and like a journal and stuff. Actually, I'll tell you what, we'll do that after the instance. Let's do Blast from the Past first and conclude this here. But yeah, the POI is really cool and an interesting area for Ur. I can't wait to show you all. So, yeah. Loranthir, what's going on, man?
Some must fight.
Just you?
Nothing so far, Commander. And with all the undead patrols in the area, the search is proving more difficult than I expected.
I worry that even if Arda survived the crash, what the enemy will do to her is far worse than death.
Then we need to expand our search. I'm going to move out into the foothills near the coast.
I'm with you, but we have to be careful and take things slowly. It won't do Arda any good if we get ambushed before we find her.
That phrase of us going to the foothills near the coast is another one of those weird moments where I feel like we're in this really big world, and maybe that the instance we're playing here actually represents like a several days of tracking, right, through vast plains. Loranthir says, we won't rest until we find her, Commander. We've lost too many heroes in Ur already. Agreed. Yeah, I don't want to... I mean, we don't even know Arda. She only just became a thing.
There's the airship. I don't see her body now. Let's keep looking.
But yeah, crashed airship, that's definitely right there. So this mission can actually bug in some really peculiar ways if you go in the wrong direction at the wrong time. So let me just warn you all as you're playing through on this one. If you see an enemy, kill it, because that's the direction the devs probably want you to go in. Don't try and avoid stuff. Don't try and be fast about it. Technically, if you've played this mission before, you know exactly what we're going to find here and where it is. And you might want to just skip to that, but that will actually bug the instance. So trust me, I've done this enough times. Don't even try. My god, we slaughtered those guys so fast. I was getting ready to edit that out. So what we got here?
Death.
If Arda survived this crash, and it's a pretty abominable looking... Look at this. The wreck of an airship. All the, you know, the material around it just burnt away. If she survived, surely she would have come out towards here. There's the coast Caraflower I was talking about. Well, oh, there is an item on the floor that these Risen were hoarded around.
She survived the crash.
Yeah, so Loranthir noticed that. We could only vaguely hear him because we were in Shroud there. But so, yeah, her sword's down on the ground.
Some must fight so that all may be free.
That doesn't seem too good.
See those patrols? They must be searching for her too. Should we fight them or sneak past?
Oh, yeah, look at them over there, the patrols. This is so cool. All right, and there's loads of bodies here. Look at all the bodies. Hold on. So Arda would have done this, right?
Lots of bodies. Arda was definitely here. We'd better hurry. They're after her.
Look at this. Look how relentless this is. You survive a freaking airship crash, and there's still no safety for you because you're in Ur now, alone, trying to run away. Oh, my God. And yeah, maybe you actually can skip this patrol. The dialogue seems to suggest that you can do it stealthy if you like. But I'll cleave them out. They're only going to live to hurt someone else if we don't.
Arda's pistol. She must have cast it aside when she ran out of ammo. That's not good.
No, it's not good at all. I agree, Loranthir. Rolling around here up the north of the coast.
There she is. And she's in trouble. Come on, we've got to move.
All right, there she... Oh, my God, yeah, she's down and looking very injured. How many Risen do you think she's killed? If only we were quicker. So remember, we were forced to make the decision to ignore the fact she'd crashed for a while so that we could defend the cauldron, finish the fight, kill the prince, right? We had to do all of that. If we had just ran for her straight away, she wouldn't be in this pickle. She's been out here surviving on her own for God knows how long. And well, are we too late?
I knew you'd find me, but rescue isn't really an option anymore. Just tell me, did we get him, boss?
We got them. The cathedral, Nekandeza, and more undead than you could count. The cauldron you delivered got them all.
Good. Just wish I could have seen it.
Hang on, Arda. Arda?
And down she goes.
I'm sorry, Commander. Arda's gone. She was instrumental to the success of our mission. I'll see that she's honored.
Thank you. Ada was brave, and she did her duty. She will be missed. But we have to press on. We are now poised to deliver the death blow to Zaitan and its army. We can't afford to wait.
I agree. Traherne is waiting near Medler's summit to brief us on the final offensive. You go ahead and report to him there. I'll see to Arda.
So there you have it. Arda does fall to the Risen. And it's a pretty sad death considering we only just met her. But she gets to die knowing that she afforded us a victory. You see how she's holding this club here? She doesn't even have like a sword or a pistol anymore. It reminds me of Ritlock actually wields a sword and pistol. She kind of has to discard them. All she has is left is this club and she's been trying to smash them away. You know, they tell a real story there with having that in her hand. And I think most players wouldn't even notice or think about it.
I serve the Vigil. The Vigil serves Tyria.
Loranthus says, I'm sorry, Commander. I didn't know Arda long. I dare say none of us did. But while she was here, she was exactly the kind of soldier the pack needs and can't afford to lose. I intend to see Zaitan pay for every life wasted in this war. I like the thought that Caraflower isn't quite into the emotion at this moment, though, because, you know, she's just like a necromancer and she's like a little bit more curious about things, perhaps. So, yeah, there you go, guys. That is the Priory and the missing squad route. Now, what you might find interesting about that is some of you will have been thinking, oh, this must explain what this weird cleansing ritual is we heard about before. You know, Bract heard from Traherne that the Priory has developed a ritual to cleanse all. Weren't we going to hear about that here? Well, actually, no. So that will be a story for tomorrow. And yeah, we'll be in the final act of Victory or Death. All storylines come to this point. This next story step we're on, against the corruption. Everyone from every background, no matter where, all coalesce here to the end of the game. This is it, the final act, not just of Victory or Death, but the final act of Core Guild Wars 2. I hope to see you guys there. We'll also do the Labyrinth. Should be a good one. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll wander into those seared lands next time.
I'm bored. Yes. Hi.